Welcome to Developing Palates. This review recap is brought to you by J.C. Newman. Founded in 1895 by Julius Caesar Newman, J.C. Newman Cigar Company is the oldest family-owned premium cigar maker in America. J.C. Newman rolls its El Rolage, factory throwouts, and Trader Jack's cigars by hand-operated vintage cigar machines at its historic cigar factory in Tampa, Florida. It also hand-rolls its Brick House, Perla del Mar, El Baton, and Quorum cigars at the J.C. Newman Pinza Cigar Factory in Esteli, Nicaragua. J.C. Newman's Diamond Crown, Maximus, Julius Caesar, and Black Diamond cigars are handmade at Tabacalera A Fuente in the Dominican Republic. With its longtime partners, the Fuente family, the Newmans founded the Cigar Family Charitable Foundation, which supports low-income families in the Dominican Republic with education, healthcare, vocational training, and clean water. Learn more by visiting jcnewman.com. Hello, everyone. Aaron Loomis here from the Ventura Cigar Company studio. With me today is Jiunn Liu and John McTavish. How you guys doing?
Not bad.
Excited to be talking about La Aurora.
That's right, La Aurora Preferidos 1903 edition Diamond number 2 Tubos. It's a Perfecto 5x54. Comes out of the La Aurora factory in the Dominican Republic. Wrapper is Connecticut broadleaf. Binder is Dominican Maduro. Filters from Dominican Republic. Blended by Manuel Inoa. Price point is $20, and the cigar was released in October of 2012. So with all that out of the way, June, what was your smoking experience like?
Smoking experience wise, so the first third, so just right off the bat, I mean, there's no doubt this like dry cocoa baseline to it. So, dark chocolate, more dark chocolate than milk chocolate. There's plenty of earthiness of like a dry dirt, dry soil thing going on. And then you eventually kind of get into a little bit more. You get some spicy cedar, body medium full, strength medium. I had a pretty dry profile to this cigar, and it's one of those things that I just kept on thinking about throughout this whole cigar. And I had to like drink a bunch of water along with it too, so that wasn't ideal. So with the second third was the best part for me. The main reason why it got improved was it started getting less dry, but it's still the same flavor notes. And by the time I got to the last third, I started getting this like burning paper, construction paper note, which I really don't like in a cigar. And the reason I don't like it is because it typically drowns out so much of the other flavors for me. And particularly with this example, it drowned out a lot of that dark cocoa that I liked. In terms of burn and draw, burn was very good. One touch up required in the second third, so not a big deal. In terms of the draw, it was perfect.
All right, how about you, John? What was your smoking experience like?
The first third started out with some spicy cedar, which is the spice is unusual for me on La Aurora. Being a Dominican cigar, it's a little bit more full flavor than I would typically expect. And then, like Jim was talking about, the almost immediately there was this long lingering cedar and had a lot of mouth dry to it. I also had some water hanging by because it really dried the palate out. Retrohale was sweet and malty. There was a really nice chocolate undercoating everything, which was enjoyable. The pepper and spice really fell off about 5-10 minutes in, so that's good because I think for a lot of La Aurora smokers that might have been a little too intense. Cocoa and cedar take up the front of the palate for the rest of the smoking experience with a little bit of toasted barbecue, rounding the things out before it finished up. Middle third, cocoa sweet cedar. I think for me, I enjoyed maybe the first third a little bit more than the middle third. As the middle third progressed, I think the intensity, the complexity fell off a little bit. And the cedar took on a tannic quality, which I found a little distracting by the end of the middle third. And then there's toasted earth taking the last third, which I rated as average because the toasted earth and the cedar really kind of took the palate over, and then the tannins came back. So you got toasted earth, dry cedar, and tannins, and that is not a good time for my palate. In terms of burning construction, I had no issues at all, and I think we've talked about different factories. For me, La Aurora is one of those factories that I kind of just have come to expect a perfect experience every time. I think their factory puts out pretty much a flawless cigar construction-wise every single time. Ash held on about 2 inches, draws maybe one notch into the spectrum, and, it's perfect to me. So, Aaron, what was your experience like?
Yeah, started with a mix of charred cedar and cocoa. About a half-inch in, the char eased up quite a bit, allowing the cedar to shine a bit more with the slight cream that joins in to go along with the cocoa. Retrohale's got toasted cedar and mustiness. About an inch in, the profile was a bit drying as the cream had left and was replaced by mustiness. The dryness seemed to be attached to the cedar note I was getting. Cocoa was really faint, and strength was slightly below medium. Getting into the second third, profile is now dry cedar with some mustiness and a faint baking spice. Quarter inch in, the cedar is becoming quite a bit fuller, has a nice spiciness to it. 3/4 of an inch in, a little bit of cocoa powder returns to the profile. Retrohale's still got that musty cedar going on. And as the second third's wrapping up, mustiness takes the lead over the cedar, while the cocoa has left the profile. Strength remains at slightly below medium. And then getting into the final third, mustiness still up front. Cedar gained a bit of a toasted note to it. Retrohale has toasted cedar and mustiness at equal levels. And as the cigar wraps up, toasted cedar has evened out with the mustiness. Strength remains at that slightly below medium mark. In regards to the burn, it was straight most of the way, just got off around the midpoint, but self-corrected. Ash held on to the midpoint, and then again until the cigar wrapped up. Draw was slightly tighter than I'd prefer, but didn't cause any issues with the smoking experience. So overall, Jiunn, thoughts on this one?
Overall, I don't have a high belief in La Aurora being able to pump out a good broadleaf cigar. I mean, this is not that good. For two things that made it not that great, and just overall average for me. So the dry palate that I got, and just that burning construction paper note for the last third. And I mean, you know, if the focus would have been more on the cocoa notes, and less dry, more of like a milk chocolate or like a fudge kind of a chocolate, I think it would have helped the cigar tremendously. But it's just, you know, and then on top of that, like for $20, I mean, it's hard to get behind this for $20 in average smoking flavor experience.
How about you, John? What are your overall thoughts?
Yeah, I rated this as good. I think like as an average, but I am disappointed in the sense that I think this is one of those rare times where price does factor in, and if you're paying $20, and I mean certainly the packaging is impressive, but you can't smoke the tubo. So while I enjoyed it, and while if it was a $10 cigar, I think this would be a really good experience. I think it has to be higher than that because you're charging a premium price. So it's kind of a catch-22 for me because I'm rating it based on our flavor scale is good, but I think it falls short based on the pricing. Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the first third was good, and then it kind of dropped down a level from the second third on. Profile was drying coming from that broadleaf. The blend just doesn't lend itself to create, enough saliva to battle that dryness of the broadleaf there. This is a long-standing, the Preferidos format, and it's done really well for La Aurora. I think the diamond isn't my favorite. It wouldn't be the first tubo and the Preferidos that I reach for. But I think it's still a fairly good representation of broadleaf. I'd smoke it again, but I mean, like I said, if I had all of them lined up, this is not going to be the first one I'm going to reach for. And with that price point, you definitely want a bit more of a memorable experience than saying, it's kind of felt like it was a bit dry and stuff like that. So just that's what would keep me away from going back to this. Getting into the scores, start at the top with you, John, 6.82. Jiunn was next at 6 even, and I gave it a 5.85. So 6.82, John.
Sounds right. In terms of flavor, this is kind of a low to mid sixes, but the construction is flawless, so that is what puts it above 6.75. That matches. I mean, again, I think it's good with an asterisk. I enjoyed it. I would smoke it again. I can't see myself paying $20 for it though.
All right, Jiunn, 6 even.
All things considered, overall, it helped that the burn and draw performance was good. So, I mean, but with all that said, even I'm let down by the flavor profile of this. La Aurora does so many good cigars, especially that we reviewed on like the cheaper end of the spectrum, like the $5 to $7, right? And so when they come out with something that's $20, I expect damn good flavors. Very good. Yeah. I expect damn near perfection, and this was even worse than their $5, $6 offerings.
Yeah, my 5.85 is slightly below that average flavor profile and really good construction. I mean, that's what kind of bumps it up into the starting to knock on the door of the 6 range. So those would be my thoughts. But yeah, like you guys have said, it's the broadleaf is not going to be the first one that you search out for these. So, but I think you could also get these not in the tubo. They don't have the extra 2 years of aging or whatever on them, and they have a lower price point as well. So if you can always do that as I think is another option. Any other final thoughts from you guys on this one? All right. Well, if you're just catching this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us. Check out the full written review on the website, developingpalates.com. Follow us on all the social media channels, and you can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts. So iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in. We will catch you on the next one.